We're still in the midst of a blistering heatwave, and Network Rail has imposed a nationwide ban on the use of steam traction. But today's charter is the beautiful blue diesel Midland Pullman, the settled to Carlisle and Tyne Valley Pullman, which started its journey at Potter's Bar in Hertfordshire at 06:14 this morning, and is due to pass through here shortly. First, however, we see the 0918X Leeds train making its final call before its destination of Carlisle, Armathwaite in the lower reaches of the Eden Valley. And here a surprising number of passengers alight. They're not here for walking or cycling, common reasons for visitors by train, but to visit the preserved signal box, whose custodian Catherine is celebrating her birthday today. As we'll see, they've a long and difficult route to access the opposite platform. Let's have a look at the station before I cross over to the other side and get ready for the Pullman's arrival. The down platform has only a basic bus stop type shelter. The upside, however, boasts a spacious waiting room, well supplied with reading material, historical information, and even children's toys and games. We get a glimpse of the Eden Valley from the platform, but the village is way down by the river, out of sight from the station. To cross the tracks, we have to access the road, and this isn't easy. The pathway to the road is steep with a loose surface, not good for the elderly or those with mobility problems. The road then climbs steeply and has a narrow footpath. There's a blind corner beyond the bridge, so walking in the road is not advised. The road continues to climb until it reaches the station car park, from which I intend to launch the drone. There in the centre of the picture we see the foot crossing just 100 yards or so beyond the station. Trains approaching from either direction must sound a warning horn to alert possible users, though how often it's actually used I've no idea. I've complained in previous videos about the extent to which trees have been allowed to grow wild alongside our railways, blocking the view for passengers. Here they make it very difficult for me to see the approach of the Pullman. A steam train makes its presence much more obvious. We hover for several minutes until I think I detect something in the distance. Crossing Drybeck Viaduct and heading on to Low House Crossing. Only 10 minutes or so from Carlisle and the end of a long journey. Now, if you're watching this on a good monitor, you may spot something approaching. Unfortunately, I don't notice it on the 6-inch screen of my drone controller and pan away to take a look at the lovely Eden Valley. Missed it. Oh well. Let's recover the drone, get things packed and ready for the next train back to Carlisle. I'm planning on catching the return journey in a very different environment. Trains from Carlisle to Newcastle don't normally stop at my intended destination, so I have to change at Hexham to catch an all-stations local stopping service. My ongoing train, having arrived from Newcastle, reverses back beyond the signal box to cross over onto the eastbound track before returning to the station. In Carlisle and at Armathwaite, the heat had been intense and the humidity unpleasant. As we travelled east, the sky clouded over, the temperature dropped, and life became more comfortable. I arrived at last at a station on which I've never previously set foot. Back in the last days of British Railways, two stations intrigued me. One was Teesside Airport, occupying a site where I spent many an hour as a boy. In those days it was RAF Middleton St George, and I could sit on the trackside fence watching steam trains pass by as Gloucester Javelins and Hawker Hunters took off and landed beyond the railway. By the 1990s, the public timetable showed a passenger station at which no trains ever stopped. At the same time, the station at which I've just arrived had one stopping train per week. Clearly the authorities wanted to close this station, but preferred to avoid all the hassle involved in the closure procedure. Today, it enjoys a regular call in each direction. It's situated in the western suburbs of Gateshead, some 10 minutes short of Newcastle Central. However, this was not part of the original Newcastle and Carlisle Railway, which left the Tyneside terminal on the north side of the river, crossing it between Scotswood and Blaydon. A very different ambience from Armathwaite, and almost 4 times as many users, although still very low numbers by national standards. The Pullman is running slowly because just beyond the station it will have to cross over to the opposite track to access the single line which curves away to the right to join the East Coast Main Line in the Tyne Valley. Regular passenger services bear left and climb up to pass underneath the main line before joining it at King Edward Bridge South Junction to cross the river. I had anticipated a 30-minute wait for a direct train to Carlisle, leaving me with time to meet Catherine at the Scott and Brassey for a birthday drink. Cancelled. Fault on train. I jump instead on a later train, which is only going as far as Prudhoe, where I should have another 30-minute wait. Delayed. Animals on track. Reginald Perrin, anyone?
Service to Carlisle has been cancelled due to at Newcastle, Metro Centre and Prudhoe 1833 from platform 2. If this delay results in you reaching your destination 15 minutes late, you can claim compensation through our delay repay scheme.
Even running late, the Pullman passengers got back to Potter's Bar an hour earlier than I made it home. Ah well, try anything once. Thank you for joining me, and here's to the next time.